Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on this video tutorial I'm going to show you how you can turn these $1.25 composition notebooks from Dollar Tree into some beautiful journals that you can use to keep track of absolutely anything you want to keep track of, to write your feelings, your thoughts, your prayers, your to-do list, whatever. So tell me in the comments if you are a paper person. I definitely am. I make a to-do list every day, and sometimes I'll add things to my to-do list that I've already done just so I can scratch them out. So I love paper, and I love making these fun notebooks. And I just got in my drawers and dug out a few to show you. By the way, I am experimenting with my camera angle today. So I don't know, let me know if you like this or not. Okay, this was probably the very first one that I made. And this is just one of those little spiral notebooks. And I used some of these beautiful vintage New Century Dictionary pages from these dictionaries that my grandmother, we called her Mamu, gave me. She left them to me after she passed. And they were just sitting doing nothing. And I decided to start crafting with them, and oh my gosh, I fell in love with vintage paper. Okay, so this was probably the first one. I'm going to show you what I've done, and then we're going to jump in. I have stuff at all different stages so that you can see beginning, middle, and end. And as you were hopping on, tell me hello so I know who's here. Feel free to sprinkle all that good stuff. Okay, this is a more traditional kind of composition notebook, also from Dollar Tree, and this has a napkin decoupaged over some paper. This is my favorite paper to decoupage with, and it is from this Webster's Third New International Dictionary. What I like about this is that the print is really small, so it kind of disappears. The pages are white. This came from Goodwill, and I probably paid $4 or $5 from it, and I have been crafting with it for a very long time. So this one was decoupaged with that kind of paper, and then a pretty napkin. Same paper, and this was a different style, but also a composition notebook from Dollar Tree, a little ribbon, and a beautiful stencil. Here's another two that are similar. And these are with a Proverbs 31 stencil. And then I also made this little stretchy thing using some Dollar Tree elastic and some of my favorite little vintage buttons that you can just put on your little journal to keep it closed. Same thing with this one. Okay, and then one more to show you, and then we'll jump in. This was the last one I wanted to show you, and it has ribbon on it. It's that same composition notebook with these silly little smiley faces. And for this one, I used a beautiful stencil, and then just to do something different, I put some black buttons on it. I don't know. Anyways, I do love making journals. They're super affordable. And a couple of these that we're making today, I will be giving away. Okay, so you have tons of options for your paper. I showed you this. Here's another one that I picked up at Goodwill. This is a New Britannica Webster Dictionary and Reference Guide. I don't like this one as much because look how much bigger the print is. It's kind of distracting. I love this paper, but not for this kind of a project. So those are a couple things you can do. And, oh, and we're going to come back to this one. And then you can also do sheet music. And I have several different books of sheet music that I have picked up at Goodwill. The thing about sheet music, I do have one that we're going to work with. It's a little bold and a little distracting, is what I would say. Okay, so let's start with your basic method of doing decoupage. And I'm going to use one of these Fiskars, what do you call these things? Just to get some paper out of my dictionary. Be super careful. These are very, very sharp. Make sure you put your cap back on it. Okay, I need more than one page. I probably need to get a new X-Acto knife. Mine is a little bit on the dull side. And you know, scissors and knives and all those kind of things are more dangerous when they're dull than when they're sharp. Okay, so I just took 2 pages out of this. And I'm going to show you, let's get this off my desk so I have room. I'm going to show you what I like to do to make this less distracting, because this particular one has 3 columns, and then it has this band of white around the edge and these big letters, and I don't want that. So usually what I will do is I will just do this sort of curvy cut around the edges. I'll hold it up in just a second. I think my lighting is a little better going this direction. I don't know. I wish I had a professional, or could find or hire a professional to come to my house and help me get everything set up just so, and help me with, you know, lighting and sound and all that. I'm really just figuring it out myself as a total amateur. Okay, so I'm cutting all these margins off, and I'll show you what the shape is. You can see I didn't do straight, because I think straight looks funny when you're decoupaging. Now I'm going to cut these 3 columns apart, and I'm doing the same kind of wavy cut. The first time I decoupaged, or maybe the second, I cut my paper into itty bitty pieces, and then I realized that that is not necessary. It just takes longer and more decoupage stuff to do it. So now I do more of a medium size. Okay, so I have my 3 columns just stacked up, and I am just going to cut some medium-sized pieces. Then when I get to the very end, I will do some smaller pieces. So you can see, these are not straight, they're a mix. And I have a bunch here because I have been working this morning. Okay, we're not going to use this because I have decided that this is just way too distracting. Alrighty, so put this here. Next thing you're going to want to do is, if your notebook has any, price tags or anything on it, take that off. And I'm working on some of this, my new favorite, this parchment paper stuff that you can get at Dollar Tree. It's really good for a lot of different things. I'm going to lay it underneath my little notebook. Let's see. Let's go up and down a little bit more. Now it looks like I'm leaning. Okay, I think that's a little better. So I'm going to put it underneath, and then I'm also going to put a piece here inside. And that will just protect the pages because I don't want to glue all the pages closed. All right? And I'm using matte Modpodge. This is my favorite way to get it. I usually get those big bottles that glue themselves closed every time you use them. You have to put them under hot water to get them unstuck, and they're a huge pain. This is just a squeeze bottle. I think this came from Hobby Lobby. And I like matte the best, but use what you like, okay? So I'm going to start here at the bottom. And I'm just using a little foam brush. And I'm going to apply. This is not a neat craft, so don't be thinking, wow, she's a mess. I am a mess, but that's perfectly fine. You want to be generous with the amount of Mod Podge that you use. And then we're going to just start, 2 pieces now, putting our, and each time you lay one down, you want to add a little Mod Podge over the top of it so that the next piece of paper will stick to that. There's absolutely no right or wrong way to get this on. What do you guys think so far? And I'm going to go partially into, okay, I don't want to use this side because it has some sort of a graphic. And I am going to overlap my paper pieces here and there. This really, you can crank these out pretty quick. Okay, I'm going to pick this up and show you something. Oops, I don't want that piece because it's got something drawn on it that is going to be distracting. Okay, what I want you to notice right now is that I am going over the edges of the composition notebook. Can you see that? And when it's all fully dry, then we will just trim that off. And I have some that are ready to be trimmed, so I can show you how you do that. So as you're laying your paper down, you just want to vary the sizes and do some up and down, some diagonal, you know, so that the paper's not all going the same direction. I want to just quick crank this out. So 2 pieces, yes. Bernice says she wants one, LOL. These are so easy to make. And you know, when school is starting, you can get composition notebooks for like 25 cents at Staples and some of those office places. They want to give you a really great price on something to get you to come in to buy your school supplies, and often it's these composition notebooks that they really discount. So this is just a great little gift to make for a friend also. You know, and then you could sign the inside cover or write a little note, and you can totally pick a theme if you want. I do want to make sure that I don't leave any open spots. Like there's an open spot right there, so I'm going to cover that. This probably looks like it's using a ton of Mod Podge, but it really isn't. Hoping that I have enough pieces cut. I think I do. Some more big ones. almost there, so stay with me. I want to talk to you about the binding too. This probably just looks like a huge mess to you right now. Happy Taco Tuesday. Yeah, if you're watching live, happy Taco Tuesday. Who's having tacos tonight? That's a good idea. My husband has business stuff to do tonight, so I could make tacos for myself if I wanted. Okay. So I'm going to just hang on to all these little pieces here for my next decoupage project. And this is what it looks like right now. Okay, look how messy that spine was. I'm going to just take my little foam brush and just kind of try to neaten it up a little bit. It will dry pretty clear, but if there's big lumps of your Mod Podge on the spine, it's going to look messy. All right, so now I'm going to set this aside. It'll take probably an hour and a half to dry. And I've got a bunch ready to go. Okay, this one, I have this one, and I have this one. This one I'm not loving as much. I was just trying something new to see if I could put one whole page just flat on it. We'll do that one in the middle. Okay, and this one, I'm doing front and back. This one I'm going to give away for sure. Tomorrow I'll tell you how to get your name in my hat if you're watching this live. Anyways, look at the other side. This is one of those new rub-on transfers from Magnolia. Okay, and I'm thrifty, so I'm not going to throw this away. I'll use it, I'll fold it up and stick it in my desk and use it for the next project. Now I got to trim all this mess off, which is not hard. And it doesn't have to be trimmed perfectly. And you have if you did it this way, then you, oops, if you did it this way, then you have multiple layers of Mod Podge on your paper, and there's nothing that you really need to do to make it permanent. It's there. You could, if you wanted, spray a little clear matte sealer on it when you're all finished, but I think it's pretty good to go. Unless it got wet or something, but don't sit a cup of hot coffee on top of your little journal. Much better, right? So this is up, and I'm going to do something on the back. What I want to do is use some more of this same red transfer, which looks like this, the whole thing. I got two of them, and this is what I have left. Okay, so this front, I did a heart shape with all these flowers. Isn't that cute? And I may come back and put like another butterfly or something down here. But in the back, there's this beautiful hibiscus flower that I thought we would put right in the center. So when you're working, this is what a real transfer is, by the way. A lot of people say they're doing transfers when really they're doing a stencil. And they're different. This, you're going to be rubbing this off of the paper that it's on onto your project. It's transferring from this carrier paper to your project. A stencil is something that you push a medium through. And I'm sorry, but that bothers me that people get that wrong. Okay, which way do you suppose this goes? Let's go like this. Okay, so there's going to be a clear, shiny top, and then underneath, the image is on the inside of the clear, shiny piece. Once you cut them, it can be kind of, see, can you see it? It's there. So I'm going to pull this off, and then I'm going to be super careful not to touch any area where there is a design. And once I lay it down, I'm going to be pretty stuck with how I lay it down. Okay. So I've just laid it down, and I still have this plastic over the top, which the goal is to rub it so that it comes off of the plastic and it's permanently on your project. So this is a new tool that we just got at Magnolia DIY. Did I cover the back seam? I did not, but you sure can if you want. In some of mine I did, not for this one. So then with this, you're just going to be rubbing to get the transfer to come off of the front clear and stick to the back. This won't take long, so stay with me because I want to do another one and do a completely different design. Okay, so every now and again, you're just gonna go to your clear plastic and start to lift it up and see. You can see it is coming off, but go very slow and gingerly and keep rubbing. And if you accidentally pull off some of your design, you can just lay it back down and gently lift it up. Rub it some more and gently lift it up. These are so beautiful. I really think that Magnolia hit it out of the park with these designs. Not that they don't always hit it out of the park, but wow. So isn't that pretty? Front and back. And I think I will come back after the fact and add some more little something doodads on here, just to give it a little more interest. And this will be one of the ones that I'm going to give away. So I have all this left, including this mushroom, which I love. There's cherries, there's ladybugs, strawberries, these little stamps, a little soap label, all kinds of really cool things on there. Okay, let's do this one now. And I did not do the back. So let me just trim it up real quick, and then we'll pick a different transfer. So with this kind of a project, you can decoupage napkins on. You could even decoupage a thin piece of fabric if you wanted over the top of the paper. And you can use scrapbook paper if you don't have any of these vintage books or anything. This is an awkward angle. So, and you can do a rub-on transfer. You can also do a stencil. You can add buttons. You can do lace. You can do elastic. And the base of this project is $1.25. So they're just a great little something to give a friend, to give, you know, if you're in a Bible study, to give your leader, or if you're going over to someone's house for dinner, or they drove you somewhere and you just want a little something to give them. Something like this is great. I have one of these out in the front room, and that's where I write my Christ and Crafting notes. Okay. So good. So this is on here. It is not coming off. And I could do the back. I probably will, but I'll do that off camera. Okay, let me show you some of the other options. I love this one. I think this might be the one that we're going to use. This is a whole bunch of different bird things. And oh, and by the way, each one of these comes with instructions of how to use them. This is also beautiful. There's going to be tons of things that you can do with the butterflies. And if you want to look at any of the transfers when I'm all finished, or have a complete supply list, just let me know and I'll get that to you in the comments. You know, I'll tell you Modpodge mat, vintage paper, composition notebooks. I'll give you the info on where you can get these transfers, where you can get this little gadget, all that good stuff. Look how pretty this is too. I love the colors. And then of course I love this one. This is called Cream Ephemera. And it's like a whole bunch of old labels and tickets, and some of it's pretty darn realistic. So that's lovely too. But I think we are going to do this one. And I want to make sure that I put it on right side up, because I have done it backwards before. I think I'm going to do this little bird right here. So I'm going to cut it out. You don't have to get super close to the edges of it. I just don't want to mess up the transfer that's right next door. All right, and I'm thinking I'm going to put it, I think I'm going to put it in the bottom right corner. Let me find a good spot to start lifting this up. Okay, so you're going to pull the backing off. Can you see that? And you're going to just be really careful that you don't touch the design, because if you do, it will start to transfer on your fingers, and we don't want that. And don't fully lay it down until you've committed to your placement. Look how pretty that is, and I haven't even started rubbing it. If you're going to buy some of these transfers, you definitely want this tool. They come 3 in a package. I don't know where my other one is. And they're great, and they're just a couple dollars. But they're so much easier to do the transfer than trying to use a popsicle stick or a craft stick. So you want to really work it good at the edges. And you can kind of start to see when it is ready to be pulled up, because it will sort of look a little opaque. Let me just take a little peek from this corner and see. Nope, it is not ready. Okay, it's starting to be ready. Can you see that? It's starting to come off. My first experience with rub-on transfers was in scrapbooking. Melanie says she likes the old-fashioned look. Yeah, me too. Anyway, so that was the first time I ever used a rub-on transfer when I was scrapbooking. And then, I don't know, I didn't see them around for years. And now they're back. But for crafting, you could use these on scrapbooking too. I'm getting to work out here. We're going to just get this puppy on, and then we're going to move on to the last one, so stay with me, because I think it's going to look completely different. And don't hesitate to let me know, what did I use for the paper underneath these vintage books? Vintage dictionaries and stuff like that. They came from Goodwill. And cut in small pieces and Modpodge matte. So, the person that just asked me that, when this video is no longer live, you can come back and watch it on replay from the beginning, and I give you all the information. Okay, this one's wanting to be very sticky. And it's a very detailed design, so I don't want to mess it up. Once it starts to come up, it's easy to get it all lifted. We're almost done here. You can see I'm just basically pulling the top shiny stuff off, and the design has transferred from this to my project. That's why it's called a transfer. Okay, just a little bit left. Okay, and see, it all came off of here, and it is all right here. Isn't that just awesome? $1.25 for this composition notebook. So I will be giving this one away too. And I'll probably finish the back, maybe. We'll see how busy my day is. Okay, so this is the one that I just did one piece of sheet music, and it was kind of a yellow piece. Same process exactly. I just slathered on a whole bunch of Mod Podge, laid this into it, pressed it down, put Mod Podge over the top, let it dry. This paper is also a little thicker, is what I'm noticing, than the dictionary pages. I cannot see. Okay, Anna Pierce is asking a super good question. She's asking, when you use a stencil on the top of something like this, do you need to do anything to it? And you know what? I think I haven't done it in a little while, but what I learned is that you will get a much crisper result if you spray it with clear matte sealer spray. This is Krylon, or no, this is Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Clear. Matte clear sealer spray from Walmart. It's like $4 or $5 a can, and they last forever. If you spray it after it's fully dry, before you stencil, then your chalk paste is what you're going to use. It's going to go through your stencil, and it's not going to soak into all the paper and be fuzzy. It'll stop right there, and you'll get a crisper look. You don't need to do that with these transfers. And you don't need to do that when you're decoupaging a napkin. But, I cannot see. But when you are stenciling, it makes a difference. And you want a crisp stencil impression. You don't want it to be fuzzy or blurry. Okay, the other thing I noticed about doing a full page of this kind of thicker paper is that it is a little wrinkly. And I'll come back and trim up some of this where I didn't do a very good job. Yeah, because it really does not look good. Let's do that right now. That's a little better. And I'm just going to bend it so that it's not bowing. Okay, see how I have some of these kind of wrinkles? That's because it's hard to get all the Modpodge that is underneath it smoothed out and the paper fully pressed into it. But this is just some vintage sheet music. Okay, what was I thinking for this one? I was kind of thinking to do this other. I mean, this would be gorgeous on it. But I think I'm going to do this other bird right here that to me has some kind of yellowish tones to it, and I think that'll be lovely. I am going to need to order another one of these bird transfers because they are so pretty. And my friend Susie, she used a transfer on a canvas tote bag that her sister gave her. And I said, well, we FaceTimed yesterday. I said, well, does it feel like crunchy or stiff? And she said, no, it feels soft. She probably couldn't wash it. But I'm thinking, okay, that's another application that we could use these rub-on transfers for. Okay, so I'm going to get it off the back. Okay, come on. There we go. And I'm going to be careful not to touch. Where am I going to grab it? Well, just going to do the best I can. And I like this look of putting this in the bottom corner. So that's what I think I'm going to do with this one too. And it's pretty right now, even with the clear plastic on it. But let's rub it off. I'm going to hope that that big wrinkle that I have doesn't make a difference. This is one of the times when making a mistake is helpful because I learned something and I pass that information along to you guys. If your paper is thick, like this was pretty thick sheet music, it's probably not going to be super great to do a whole piece of it. It would be better to cut it into pieces and go winky wonky or whatever. Because when you do it in a whole sheet, it seems to get a few wrinkles. All right, let's see if anything's ready to start coming up. It's starting. Goodness gracious. I don't have long enough fingernails to do anything worthwhile with them. Okay, so let's keep rubbing. actually looks like a postcard. It says carte postale. It's like a French postcard is what it's supposed to be. Just take your time. Don't rush to rip it off. Okay, and here's a perfect example. You can see where it's about ready to come off. Where am I? Because it starts to get kind of opaque. That means it has transferred from this clear plastic onto your project, and you can start pulling up there. It's kind of hard to see sometimes, but sometimes you can clearly see it. This has the Eiffel Tower and these like stamps. This is a beautiful transfer. I'm not sure how Magnolia planned on this, but when they first introduced transfers, it was last fall. The first one sold out, like almost right away. So the mushroom, I mean all of these, the butterflies, if there's one that you especially love, don't wait too long to grab it. Let me know that you want a direct link so you can hop over there and look. Yay! It transferred off of there, and now it is here. What do you guys think? Isn't that pretty? So, here was the first one, the front that I did, and I'm going to add something more, like a butterfly, or maybe right here. That will make more sense, you know. Oops, this way. And then I did this big hibiscus, and I might add something else to the back of it. So I did the front and the back of that one. Here is another one that we did a bird transfer. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, I love this one. And I may possibly finish the back. We'll have to see how crazy my day is. And then here's the last one, which I don't know if I'm going to give this one away because I'm not 100% sold on this technique and how it looks. And if I'm going to give it away, I want it to be completely perfect and lovely. So I might just hang on to this. Anyways, if you have questions about the supplies that we used, I mean, I'll even include this information, the Modpodge, the books, the tools, the transfers, or anything else. Just let me know. You can say supplies or something, and or transfer link, and I'll get you a direct link. And what that does, it'll give you the list of everything, and it says where it's from. Like this can be purchased at Walmart. This can be purchased at Walmart, you know, so that you know exactly where to go to get your ingredients if you want to do this project. These journals, these composition notebooks are from Dollar Tree. I'll give you a direct link to the transfers and to this little tool. If you want that, just let me know. Tell me also in the comments which one of these designs is your personal favorite. Did you like the birds the best? Do you like this cream ephemera? Do you like these, oops, what is this one called? Rose collection? Do you like the butterflies? Or do you like the ruby reds that have this funky mushroom? And I love this. It's like in the shape of a heart with all those poppies and cherries and strawberries and all kinds of fun things. So tell me in the comments which one you prefer. Let me know if you want links. Feel free to sprinkle. Let me know also, you guys, if this works. The light is definitely better, I think, this way. And I feel like I'm closer to my camera, but I don't know, is this angle distracting? You know what, if I ask that question, half of you will say I hate it, and the other half of you will say I love it, please keep doing it. But I seriously want to know, because I want these videos to be a good experience for you. So, and I'm always switching things up. So I want to know what you think. Alrighty, do it this or this. That's a heart. Say something to me in the comments. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle if you liked this. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to ask for the links. Check to see if you've liked and followed this page, which is Dreamy DIY. Come back tomorrow for info on, not this one, I am not satisfied with that, with these, to find out how you could possibly win one of those. And Carolyn says she likes it this way. Okay, I have done it sideways, but I was aiming this way before because I was thinking that you guys wanted to see my pretty little background here. You know, all my projects, but I don't know. You've seen that enough. Maybe you don't care to see that anymore and you'd just rather have a better view. Okie dokie. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day.